Hello students, this lecture is going to be very important for you to learn about different aspects of Python programming language. To begin with, let us see what is Python shell. Python shell is the environment interface between the user and programming capabilities of programming language via operating system. Python shell is used through two different modes, interactive mode and script mode. We can use interactive mode using Python command line execution as well as Python IDLE, that is Integrated Development Environment. Python command line execution can be only for interactive mode. Python script editor or Python script mode can be used for both interactive as well as script mode. In interactive mode, only single Python functional statement can be executed in one go. In script mode, we can create, edit, save and execute Python program with multiple lines. To show you command line execution and Python IDLE execution, to this side where the cursor is moving towards left hand side, you have Python command line execution, and towards your right side here you have Python IDLE execution mode. The difference between the two is very clear here. Python IDLE is having file, edit, shell, debug, option, window, help. These are the parts of the main menu it has, though the main menu is missing in case of Python command line. Since Python IDLE can be used for both interactive mode as well as script mode, so I'll be using only Python IDLE and not the command line execution for further discussions. Now let us discuss the arithmetical operators. For that we'll be using 5 and 2. 5 plus 2. If I press enter now, I'll be getting 7. So 5 plus 2 on pressing enter means on execution gives you 7 as the result. I take 5 again, minus 2, I press enter and get the answer 3. Now you see, we write a statement and we press enter. It means only one statement is executed, because after pressing enter we are getting 7. So after writing the statement, when we press enter, that leads to the execution of the statement and we get the answer as the response to that execution. Let us write 5 into 2. The result is 10. I write 5 divided by 2. The answer is 2.5. Just see 5 and 2 both are integers, but the result is coming a float or a decimal value. Then let us take 5 and write something new for you. Divided by 2, we are getting 2. Just see 5 divided by 2 is coming 2.5, and when I say 5 divided sign twice followed by 2, then the answer is 2. We call this a floor division. What we call a floor division. 5 floor division 2, the response is 2. Now another thing which is new for you, I write 5 twice the multiplication sign 2. The answer to that is 25. You see, it is 5 raised to the power 2. So double asterisk or double multiplication sign is for the exponent. So 5 raised to the power 2 is 25. One more thing which you can learn now. 5 sign of percentage followed by 2. Just see, you are getting 1 as the result. So if you divide 5 by 2, the remainder is 1. So it is the remainder division. So different sign which you are getting: plus, minus, multiplication, division, floor division, exponent, remainder division. So these are the arithmetical operations which we can perform using command line, or the same thing can be done in a program even. Now let us see, can we assign a value to a variable? For that, we'll take 5 and 2 again, or you can take any number you want. I'm taking 5 again. A equal 5. So means 5 is the value assigned to a variable A. So what is variable and what is constant? Here itself we should discuss. Variable is something of which we can assign different values, to which we can assign different values. And constant is the value, means this doesn't change. Means 5 will be 5 all the time, but A I can write equal to 5, equal to 7, equal to anything else. So variable is the one of which value can change, and constant is the one of which value cannot change. I write B equal to 2. Keeping the same example here, if I write A plus B, I get 7, because A is having value 5 and B is having value 2. The same way you can see the other one also, like I write A minus B, it is coming 3. A into B, 10. Now let us talk about operands, operators and equations. To discuss these three things, let us take one example of quadratic equation. For quadratic equation we need certain variables, so let us assign few values. A equal to, let us say 3, B equal to 5, C is equal to 10. Let us take a small value for x, say let us say 2. Now to write the quadratic equation and put the result into one variable, I take D equal to A into x square, exponent sign you are going to put, 2 plus B into x plus C. Press enter. So the value of this quadratic equation is assigned to D. To find out the value which D is holding, write D and press enter. So the quadratic equation is getting the value 32 here. Now let us learn about assignment operators. If I have to assign some value to a variable, for example, I write A equal 5. So what I have done here, I have assigned a value 5 to variable A. Now let us see, I write A plus equal to. What is happening now here? It says A plus equal to, it means add 2 to the existing value of A and assign that value to variable A again. Reassignment of the value here. So I write A and press enter. So it is 7. It means what? To the existing value, the value existing value is 5. To 5 it is adding 2, and whatsoever is the response is assigned to variable A. When I write A, press enter, then it gives me 7. The same way I can have A minus equal, let us say 1. I say A, write 6. Means what? Means you subtract 1 from the existing value of A, which was 7, and then assign that value to variable A again. Reassignment of the value, that is 6 now. Going next, I write A sign of multiplication equal to. I press enter just to find out the value of a new value of a. I write a and press enter. It is 12. Means what? You multiply the existing value of a by 2, and whatsoever you are getting, assign that value again to variable a. So that comes 12. Now I write a minus equal 10. Let us see. I say a, it is coming 2. I write now a into 3. It means what? Find out a raised to the power 3 and assign that value to a again. Reassignment of value to variable a. I press enter. I say a. It gives me 8 because 2 times 2 times 2, it is 8. Assignment operator. Now going further, I write a divided equal 3. Means value of a is divided by 3, and whatsoever is the result, that is assigned again to a. I press enter. I write a. I am getting 2.6666. I reassign the value 8 again. I write a is equal to 8, and I write this time a floor division equal to 3. Floor division. This is floor division. Now I press enter. I write a. So it gets 2. Because when 8 is divided by 3, the quotient comes 2. So floor division gives you the integer part of it. Now let us discuss about relational operators. Relational operators work with 2 operands. So for that, let us take 2 variables. I take a is equal to 10 and b is equal to, let us take 25. I write a greater than b. Means we are checking whether a is greater than b or not, and see the response of it. It is false because a is not greater than b. But if I say a less than b, this is the sign of less than, and answer to that I am getting true. Going further, let us take the case of this one. A greater than and equal to b. Answer is false. A is neither greater than or not equal to b. And if I do it other way around, means I write a less than and equal to b. It is true. So it is less than b. If not equal to b, it is less than b. Means any of the 2 must be true there. So it is true. I write a not equal. This is a sign for not equal to b. Let us see what it says. It says true. So this is the sign of not equal to. I write one more operator here. A equal b. Means we are saying a is equivalent to b. Means a and b both are holding the same value, which is false. If I say a equal 10, it says true because a is holding the value 10 and I am writing a equal 10 or a equivalent 10, so it is giving you true value. So these are the relational operators. But here itself I would like to discuss some logical operators also. For that, and logical operators are used to combine two or more relational operations. For example, I write A greater than 20 or B is more than 20. Let us see what I get. Answer is true. A is not more than 20. True. But B is more than 20. So OR is used to combine two relational operators. If one of the two is true or correct, then the answer will be true. Let us take something else. I write A is greater than 20 or B is less than 20. False. So in this one, both the statements, the relational statements are false. So the answer to this one is false. We'll take one more case, and that is OR operator. This OR operator is done. We'll take AND operator now. I write A is greater than 20 and B is greater than 20. Answer to that is false. In case of OR, any one of the two or any of many given statement must be true to get the answer true. But in case of AND, all the statements in the expression must be true. For example, A is not greater than 20, but B is greater than 20. So one of the statement is false, so the answer to this one is false. I hope it is clear to you. So far we have discussed only two logical operators, OR and AND. There is one more logical operator, NOT. NOT need only one operand to work with. For that, let us take one case. I write A is equal to 0 and I pass this operator on A, not A, then answer is coming true. If the variable or the operand has value 0, then not that operand will result in answer true. If I say A is equal to any value other than 0, let us say 5, and I pass the same operator again, not A, that will result into false because A is having a value other than 0. So this is the working of NOT operators. Now let us talk about Python data type. Python accepts different data types like numbers, none, sequence, sets, mapping. So first we are going to start with numbers. Numbers are of integer type, float type, complex type. Integer type also includes booleans. So we'll see number data type first. I write x is equal to, let us say, 10. If I pass a function type is a built-in function, type x, and if I press enter, it says class int. It means x is of integer type. I write another number, say any, let us say a is equal to 3.5. And if I say type A, it says float type. Float types are the fractional numbers, means which have decimal as part of the number. Now we are talking about a very special number which is known as complex. complex number is also a float type number, but it includes imaginary number also. For example, I say b equal to 3 plus 1.5 j. I write type b. So it says it is a complex number, means it has two parts. Let us see those two parts. There is a function, I write b dot real, and I press enter. The real part, it gives me 3.0. Whether you write in decimal or you write as integer, the return value will be a float value. I write b image, imag, press enter. It gives you 1.5. So 1.5 is the imaginary number and 3 is the real part of it. So this 1.5, just see the j is written at the end. This j is under root minus 1. Under root minus 1 is imaginary because mathematically it cannot be calculated easily. Now we'll say Boolean type. I write k is equal to true. I say type k. It says Boolean. Because Boolean has two values, true and false. So if k is true, then type of that will be bool, which stands for Boolean. Now, here itself I would like to tell you, do I have any other way to get the value of a variable or a statement? Let me tell you that. Print and write within bracket, let us say k, or I write something, a prompt also, value of k, comma, I write small k. Close, press enter. So whatsoever you are writing within parenthesis is known as the string, and the string is appearing as that says value of k, and after k I am writing comma k. So this k, last k, is the variable which is holding the value true. Let us discuss about sequence data type. Sequence data type includes strings, tuple and list. Let us see what is a string. A string is a non-numeric entry. We take example x equal I am Indian. So x in this case is a non-numeric value. A string value means it is composed of alphanumeric characters. So if I say type x, it says class str. Str stands for string. To explain tuple, I write s is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A sequence of some values. I have written all numeric values. So I press enter. So it is a tuple. Tuple includes so many values. So it is called a compound data type. Means This itself is a data type, but it is composed of integer type data or float type data or complex type data or string type data. Any type of data can be the part of it. Now I write anything, let us say k equal, I am using the square parenthesis. Anyway, the same value I can write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If more you want to include, you can put more. 6, 7. Press enter. Now let us see the difference between tuple and a list. Tuple is having the round parenthesis, while the list is having a square parenthesis. Now let us see, can we access the elements of this? Before that, I should tell you, these are the indexed elements. Indexed elements means they are accessed through some number value. Like if I want to access the first element of it, I write S0. Close the parenthesis. It is writing 1. So 1 is the first element of it. It is printing the value of it. So index value of the first element of a tuple is 0, and of the last element it is n minus 1, when n is the number of elements the tuple is holding. Same thing is applicable with list also. In case of list also, the first element has index 0 and the last has n minus 1. Just to see the element of a list, let us write print. I write it has 7 elements. The index of the last will be 7 minus 1, that is 6. If I write k square parenthesis 6 and press enter, it is giving 7. So 7 is the index of 7 is the last element, and index of which is 6 here. Now one more thing I should tell you, and that is mutable and non-mutable. Lists are mutable while tuples are non-mutable. Non-mutable means value of its element or tuple's element we cannot change. For example, and in case of list we can change it. So let us see first the list part of it. I write k, right, 1, this is the second element, is equal to, write any value you like. I write 15. So the value of the second element has become 15, and if you want to see that value, you can use the print statement. Print, write k1. It writes 15. So before it was 2 and now the new value is 15. So we are able to change the values in case of list. Let us try to do the same thing with the tuple also. I write S. If you want, you can take the second element itself. Let us try the second element 1, and I write some other value. Even if you are writing the same value, it will consider as if the value is changed. I write 10. Let us write 10 here and see what it does. It is reflecting an error. It means we cannot change the values of a tuple. So it is immutable, and we are able to change the value of any member of a list. That is, list is mutable. Feel free to ask questions through comments. We shall reply to all your queries.